So once we identified what our short side, long side, and our hypotenuse is, we're going to figure out what our short side would be given that our long side is this. So we're going to set our 5 times the square root of 3 over 2 equals to the relationship of our long and our short side. So it is x times the square root of 3. Well, we're going to divide by the square root of 3 to get x by itself. And we've got divide by the square root of 3. Well, before I simplify this down and make it just a little bit more complicated, let's always understood under any number, 1. So we've got the square root of 3 over 1 divided by what was given for our long side. So what all this means, because this cancels out, we've got x equals 5 times the square root of 3 over 2 divided by the square root of 3 over 1. Well, I want to change this division to multiplication. So I've got x equals the 5 times the square root of 3 over 2 times 1 over the square root of 3. So across I've got 5 times the square root of 3, because anything multiplied by 1 is just itself, over 2 times the square root of 3. On this one, the square root of 3 divided by the square root of 3 goes away, because anything divided by itself is just 1. And I've got 5 over 2. And this is my x. So down here, my short side, would it be 5 divided by 2? Now my hypotenuse is 2 times my short side, which is 5 times 2. Now either you can put this in the calculator, or you can use the knowledge that you have of fractions. And it's similar to what we did up here on the sticky note. So we have 2 over 1, because that 1 is understood, times 5 over 2. Well, 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 1 is 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So our x is 5. Our y is 5 over 2. And that's number 4. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to get you to pause the video to try the rest. So for number 5, it's similar to what we just did. So we've got 60 degrees. The other one has to be 30 degrees. And then we're given our long side because it's across from the 90 degree or the 60 degrees. Our short side is across from our 30. And then we have our hypotenuse. So given our long side, we're going to find our short side first. So we've got 3 times the square root of 3 over 2 equals the relationship of our short side and our long side, so 3 times the square root of 3. We're going to get x by itself by multiplying by 3, the square root of 3. So divide by the square root of 3. And remember, under any number is 1, so we got that 1. These cancel out, so we've got x equals 3 times the square root of 3 over 2 divided by the square root of 3 over 1. Well, I want to figure out what it would look like if I did multiplication instead of division. So I've got x equals, the first fraction is going to stay the same. Now I'm going to change to multiplication. I'm going to flip this fraction, so 1 over the square root of 3. So I've got something multiplied by 1 stays the same. And then a denominator, I have a 2 times the square root of 3. These two cancel out, so I'm left with 3 over 2 is my x. So my short side is 3 over 2. Now my hypotenuse, I have whatever my short side was multiplied by 2. Now if you need to do it fraction wise or calculator wise, that's fine, but 2 over 1 times 3 over 2 equals 2 times 3 gives me 6, 1 times 2 gives me 2, and 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. So my A was 3, my B was 3 over 2, and I am done. Now pause the video and try 6, 7, and 8. You should have gotten something similar for number 6. For number 7, you should have gotten something similar. And for number 8, you should have gotten something similar.